Good morning, good morning. Just setting the video up a minute. How are you all? I hope you've all had a fabulous Christmas. I know it's been probably unusual for some people, again. But I hope you're all well, I hope you're all happy, and you're looking forward to going into the new year with a sense of positivity, a sense of kindness, a sense of compassion for yourselves. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is just instilling that kindness and compassion into ourselves to take us through happily into the new year. Excuse me, I was having a really lovely warm-up and I actually forgot the time, so I'm a little bit, I haven't quite set things up properly, I do apologise. So welcome everyone, give us a little wave if you're there. I can see some notes. Good morning Nancy, morning Sue. I now have a thing that says bring them on camera. Good morning Denise. Okay, we have an hour-long practice today. That's space between Christmas and New Year where we've got a little bit more time. I thought we'd do an hour-long class. So as we have an hour, we're going to start in Shavasana. So come down onto your backs on your mat. Actually, before you start, you might like to have a towel or a blanket or something available for your knees if you need later on. Good morning, Michaela. Good morning, Francis. Oh, lovely to see you all here. Fabulous. Okay. Let's softly make our way into Shavasana. Take your time coming into Shavasana this morning. And maybe you want to start with the knees bent and the feet flat on the ground. Allow the arms to be softly away from the body for a moment with the palms facing upwards. Take a moment to check in with your spine, just noticing how it feels, just allowing it to sink into the mat a little bit. And then make the decision as to whether you would like to extend the legs out along the mat or whether you're completely comfortable with the knees up towards the ceiling. And take your time, slowly moving into a comfortable position. You might like to just roll the shoulder blades under the back a little bit to open up through the front of the chest. If you have your legs extended out along the mat, let the little toes drop out to the side. And feel that release from the toes, the feet, the ankles, the knees and the hips. Let's take a lovely deep breath in together. And as you exhale, just sigh out any worries, any fears, any to-do lists, anything that's upset you over the Christmas period. Just let it go. Let it float off into the universe and let yourself come in to a moment of stillness. Starting to observe the breath, noticing the flow of breath in through the nose and then the flow of breath out through the nose. If you feel comfortable enough, soften or close the eyes. Relax your cheeks. Soften the jaw. Maybe give it a little wiggle if it is feeling a little tight. Allow the teeth to separate just a little bit. Send that feeling of relaxation down into the throat, into the neck, the tops of the shoulders, just releasing and relaxing. Your collarbones opening up ever so slightly. And the whole of your heart space relaxes, releases and opens up to invite the next breath in. See if you can slow the breath down now. Taking this time just for yourself. Now see if you can relax and soften the abdomen slightly. So when your next breath in, The abdomen will gently rise as you draw the breath right the way down into the lower tummy. As you exhale, just a soft, gentle contraction, pulling the navel towards the spine and supporting that breath all the way out of the body. Staying with this slow, comfortable breathing. Have a little scan from your toes all the way up through to the top of your head, and just notice if there's anywhere that you're still holding tension. On your next inhalation, draw your awareness to that space, and then as you exhale, just see if you can soften, release, relax. Every time you find a nice little tight spot, breathe into it. And as you exhale, release. Staying with that bodily awareness for a few moments. Until the whole of your body is completely relaxed. Toes are relaxed, your fingers are relaxed, and all of the muscles of the face are softly relaxed. Your body's simply breathing. Enjoying this moment of calm, peace, and tranquility. And when you feel ready to, we're going to invite some movement back to your fingers, to your toes. Start to give them a little wiggle. Start to rotate the wrists and the ankles. And then when you're ready, draw the legs together, stretch the arms up and overhead, stretch your fingertips away from you, separate each of the fingers, flex the feet, press the heels apart, bring the toes towards you. And as you exhale, release everything back down, release your arms down by the side of the body. Hug one knee into the chest, followed by the other. I'm going to give the hands a nice little rub together and then rub the soles of the feet together just to invite that playfulness into our practice this morning. And then hugging the knees into the chest, have a gentle rock from side to side. Just giving your spine a little bit of love, a little bit of massage. Lovely. Place the left foot down on the ground, knee up towards the ceiling, and squeeze the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and make sure the neck is nice and long. Flex your right foot and squeeze it in nice and deeply. Take a nice deep breath in as you exhale. Extend the right leg up towards the ceiling and find a comfortable place to hold, either around the back of the thigh, holding around the back of the calf. Keeping those shoulders relaxed, the shoulder blades melting into the ground. Deeply flex your foot. Toes towards your forehead, pressing that heel away. And then point your toes up to the ceiling. See if you can find that stretch all the way through the top of your foot into the ankle joints. And let's flex and point. And then when you feel ready to, speed up the movement here. And now circle the ankle around to the right. Embracing any clunks or clicks that might happen here. Circle the ankle around to the left. And then slowly come back to that flexed foot position, lifting the heel up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the leg as much as is comfortable for you. If there is any shaking, just release out ever so slightly. Relaxing those shoulders, pressing the lower back into the ground. Breathing deeply as you exhale, lift your head up towards your right knee. Shoulders remain soft. Lovely stretch all the way down the back of the right leg. Take a nice deep breath in as you exhale, lower the head and hug the knee back into the chest. Place your right toes on your left knee and extend the arms out to the side at shoulder height in a T position. Breathe in nice and deeply as you exhale, roll over to the left, allowing both legs to drop to the left and your gaze softly to turn towards the right. Make sure the right shoulder is still connected with the ground. Take a few moments to soften into this pose. Release any tension and become aware of any sensations that you're creating down the right side of the body. Take a lovely deep breath into the right lung. Feel that expansion, and as you exhale, soften everything down to the ground. If you'd like, you can bring your left hand to the outside edge of your right knee and just gently tease it towards the ground. Bring your awareness to the abdomen, having a gentle twist, a gentle stretch here. And breathe. Deep breaths in, breathing into that right lung. And exhaling and relaxing. Lovely, deep breath in. This time as you exhale, draw the navel towards the spine. Inhale, bring the legs all the way back up to center. And place the right foot down on the ground. Just pause here for a moment. Take notice of how the left side of the body feels compared to the right. And then slowly, slowly hug the left knee in towards the chest. Hug around the front of the shins, draw it in towards the chest. Relax the shoulders. Give everything a nice little squeeze. Flex your left foot. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. Find your comfortable place to hold around the back of the leg. Make sure the lower back is still connected with the ground. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Flex your foot, really press the heel away from you here. Toes towards your forehead. Maybe you feel confident enough to even close your eyes and just be aware of all those sensations in your body. Point the toes up to the ceiling. Find that stretch in the top of the foot and then flex. Pointing and flexing, and then start to speed the movement up. Opening into those 26 bones of the feet, into the ligaments, the tendons. Circle the ankle, big circle around to the left. Big circle around to the right. Get the toes involved here, separate them. And then flex the foot. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your head up towards your left knee. Relaxing the shoulders. Lengthen out through the back of your left leg as much as is comfortable. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, lower the head. Hug the knee back into the chest. Place the left toes on the right knee, arms out to the side, shoulder height. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, drop the knees to the right and your gaze to the left. Pause here for a moment. Notice the sensations. Where can you soften to release into this pose a little bit more? Take a lovely deep breath into your left lung. Imagine it expanding, creating space within the body. And as you exhale, soften, release, relax. Keep that breath nice and slow, nice and comfortable. Maybe some of you would like to draw your right hand to the outside edge of your left knee and softly tweeze it towards the ground, keeping that left shoulder connecting with the ground. So you're opening up into the shoulder, the armpit, front of the chest. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, draw the navel towards the spine, pull it in firmly. On your next inhalation, bring the knees all the way back to the chest and hug both knees into the chest. Holding on to the knees with your fingertips down towards your toes. Bring the big toes together. Heart the legs out to the sides. Press them around to the front and circle them all the way back into the chest. And just keep with that circular movement of the knees out to the side, around to the front. For some of you, it might feel nice to separate these big toes and just make it a slightly bigger movement. Just listen to what your body would like to do today. If you've been sort of sitting on the sofa having a couple of pajama days, maybe it feels nice to keep the movement slightly slower this morning. When you come back to the chest, circle in the other direction. And again, your choice as to whether to make it smaller or bigger. Perfect. Hug the knees into the chest. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, squeeze the knees in towards the chest. And pause the breath at the end of your breath, squeezing everything in tightly, massaging all the internal organs. Hold it here. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, squeezing those knees in, pulling the navel towards the spine. Exhaling completely and holding at the end of your breath. Lovely. On the next inhalation, just release hold of the knees and bring your hands down towards your lower back. Making like a little diamond shape with your hands, just supporting the lower part of your buttocks so you can press the lower back into the ground. Now keep the firmness of your navel pulling in towards your spine. Keep those knees as close to the chest as you can. Relax the shoulders and make sure the neck is nice and long. On an inhalation, take both legs up towards the ceiling, trying to get them straight, 90-degree angle. Flex the feet and keep engaging that navel in towards the spine. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, lower the right leg with control, keeping it nice and straight. Keeping the lower back pressing into the ground, navel engaged. As you inhale, slowly lower, raise it back up, not lower. And exhale the left leg down. And inhale the left leg back up. Exhale, right leg down. Inhale, rise it up. See if you can activate the whole of your leg here. Pulling the knees up to activate the thigh. And almost as if you're pulling your femur bone in towards your hip socket. Now, if you feel comfortable to, we're going to start to speed the movement up. Almost as if you're taking long strides. One leg up, one leg down. Now I invite you to start to pump the breath. So pumping out through your nose as the legs come up and down. Keep going, keep pressing the lower back into the ground, navel pulling in. Start to feel that abdomen, getting a little bit of heat growing inside. Keep the legs as straight as possible. Keep pumping the legs up and down. Lovely, bring both legs up to the ceiling, hug the knees into the chest and have a gentle rock from side to side. Okay, place the hands around the back of your knees and the crease of your knees. As you inhale, rock back along the spine, coming up to a comfortable seated position. Okay, so if you would like to, as we come into a comfortable seated position, you may want to place a small blanket underneath your hips, or if you have a cushion or a bolster, you can place that underneath your hips now. Coming into a nice, comfortable seated position with the legs crossed if you're able. And don't forget, if this isn't comfortable for you, you can always extend a leg out to the side or both legs out to the side. But the main focus is on that lovely tall spine. So we're just tilting the pelvis ever so slightly down, lifting the sternum upwards and relaxing the shoulders down the back of the body. Lift the crown of the head up and place your hands, palms facing down on the knees. On an inhalation, we're going to lift the sternum forwards, lift the chin upwards, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Find length through the abdomen here. As you exhale, chin comes to the chest. We slouch backwards and open up between the shoulder blades. So lengthen through your arms here. Inhale, lifting the sternum, lifting the chin, squeeze the shoulder blades. And exhale, rolling under chin to chest. This is a little seated cat-cow. Inhaling up, go at your own space. Your own speed. Some of you may have a little bit more energy. Some of you might just be luxuriating in the slowness of the practice. Couple more times. If it feels nice to pause in a certain position because you can feel the opening in the body, pause there, breathe into it. Listen to what your body's asking you to do today. Lovely. When you're ready, slowly, slowly, come to a nice neutral spine and place the left fingertips down on the ground. Reach the right arm up, lengthen it out through the side of the body, draw the abdomen in and pull up the pelvic floor. Take a nice deep breath in as you exhale, keeping the chest lifted, fold over to the left, keeping those hip bones both connected with the ground. Lovely. Rotate your right shoulder back, lift the chest upwards, maybe take the gaze underneath the armpits. Beautiful deep lateral stretch through the spine, opening up through the intercostal muscles of the ribs. Perfect. Inhale, float all the way up, lengthen through the spine. Bring the right hand down. Let's do the same on the other side. So left arm comes up, find length through the body first. As you exhale, folding over, keeping those sit bones nice and even, keeping the knees down towards the ground if you have your legs crossed. Lift the chest upwards, take the gaze underneath the armpits, reach the fingertips away, breathe. Lovely, take a nice deep breath in, floating back up to center, and exhale, release the hands down. Loop the shoulders up, back and down. Do that a few times, just releasing any tension you might be holding there, and then rotate in the other direction. Perfect. Arms out to the side, palms facing upwards. See if you can bring your thumb towards the back of the room. Lift your sternum up. Take a nice deep breath in, rotate the thumb all the way round. So you're rotating all the way through the shoulders and press the thumb back again. So inhale, opening the palms upwards. Exhale, rotating the hands round. Just do that a few times, opening up into a lovely complicated shoulder joint. And then interlock the hands behind you. Loop those shoulders up, back and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Draw your hands down to the ground. Lift the sternum upwards. Lifting the gaze up ever so slightly. Squeeze those shoulder blades in and see if you can lift the hands from the ground, away from the body. Take a nice deep breath in as you exhale, folding forwards, taking those arms up towards the ceiling and bowing the head towards the ground. As you inhale, lift the arms upwards, squeezing those shoulders together. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift your head up, release the hands down and give the arms a nice little shake. Okay, transitioning over onto your knees. So if you can, bring the hands in front of you and release the feet. If that's not accessible to you, just roll onto one side of your hip and come into a comfortable kneeling position. Okay, hands stacked underneath the shoulders, knees stacked underneath the hips. Press into the tops of your feet and lengthen your spine. Think about your chest pressing away from the ground, so don't slouch into the shoulders here. Lift the chest away, draw the abdomen in. On an inhalation, take the left leg out behind you. See if you can get the weight even between the shoulders. And reach the right arm ahead of you. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, hug the knee into the chest, hug the elbow into the knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hug it in, hold it here for a moment. Lift the abdomen upwards. And then exhale, soften, release the hand, release the knee, press back into a gentle child's pose. And have a little sway from side to side, just for a moment. Come back to tabletop position, extend the right leg out behind you, flexing the foot. See if you can get it parallel to the ground, draw the abdomen in, lift the chest away from the ground, reach the left arm ahead of you. Again, opposite arm and leg. Take a nice deep breath in, press the fingertips away, press the heel away. As you exhale, knee to chest, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hug it in, hold it here. Lift the abdomen up. And softly, softly release. Come back to your tabletop position. Inhale, lift the chest. Lift the gaze. As you exhale, press back into child's pose. Chin comes to the chest. Inhale, come back to tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the hips, pressing into downward dog. Exhale, lower the knees. Into child's pose. Inhale, lifting up to tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the hips, downward dog. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale to child's pose. Keep this movement flowing. Work with your breath. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Last time. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, let's remain in child's pose just for a moment. Have a sway from side to side if that feels nice. And then come back to center. We're going to walk both arms over to the right. As far as you can go, bowing the head towards the ground. And find that delicious stretch in the left side of the body. Breathe into it. Inhale, walk the hands all the way back to center, all the way over to the left this time. Sink those hips down, sink the forehead down. And find that lovely stretch all the way down through the right side of the body. Lovely. On an inhalation, walk your hands back out in front of you. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips. We're going to stay in downward dog. So find your comfortable downward dog this morning. Readjust your clothing if you need to. Lovely. So you're pressing your heels down towards the ground. It doesn't matter if they don't reach. Some of you might be more comfortable with a little bend in the knees, but your tailbone is shooting up towards the ceiling. Whether your legs are straight, the tailbone is upwards, the tummy's drawing in, and your chest is pressing towards your thighs. So you've got a lovely straight spine. Gaze is between your knees. Now we're going to come back to that pumping breath that we did earlier. And just forcing the breath out through the nose in a nice quick rhythm.
We'll stay here for about 20 seconds. So inhale deeply and pump. Keep those arms strong, heels pressing down, and use your abdomen to work this breath. Lovely, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, walk your feet toward your hands and make your way into that little ragdoll position. Feet hip distance apart, knees bent, chest on your thighs and shoulders and arms hanging towards the ground. Let go of the crown of the head, let it dangle. Give it a nod from side to side, give it a shake. Just allow the weight of your head to pull your upper body towards the ground. Have a sway from side to side if that feels nice. And then bring your fingertips down to the ground, just in front of your feet. We're going to walk the feet slightly wider apart. So the toes come off the mat and the toes are out at an angle with the heels slightly in. So you've got like a little frog feet going in here. We're going to inhale, lift the sit bones up, straighten the legs as much as you can, dangle the head. As you exhale, sink your hips down towards your heels, coming into Malasana. If you arrive and you're comfortable here, bring your hands together, elbows into the inside of the knees, and use your elbows to press the knees out to the side. Lengthen your spine up, lift your sternum. Okay, we're going to do that again. So bring your fingertips down to the ground, lift your hips upwards, dangle your head down, and as you exhale, press into Malasana, our lovely yogi squat pose. If you'd like, maybe have a little sway from side to side here, working through any tight spots. Maybe this is completely inaccessible to you. You might be up here with your hands on your thighs. That's absolutely fine. Keep the knees out to the side. Okay, bring the fingertips down to the ground again. Lift the hips upwards, dangle the head, straighten the legs as much as you can. And last time, sink those hips down, lift the chest, press the elbows into the knees. Put a little smile on your face, especially if there's any tightness or tenderness here. Lovely, take a deep breath in. And exhale. On your next inhalation, bring the hands down to the mat, lift the hips up, turn the toes back in, walk the feet back to hip distance apart. This time on an inhalation, reach the arms out behind and then float all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, allow the hands just to trickle back down by the side. Okay, let's come into a few rounds of sun salutations for anyone that has maybe eaten a few more minced pies or chocolates or whatever than they would usually do. Let's just try and burn a few calories in the class this morning. So bringing the feet towards one another. Press down through each of your toes. Press down through the balls of your feet and the heel of the feet. Find that lovely connection of the feet on the ground. Lift the kneecaps upwards. Hug the tummy in. Lengthen down through your tailbone. Open the chest. Lift the crown of the head upwards. And let's loop the shoulders up, back and down. Palms facing forwards. Find a moment of stillness in Tadasana. And if you feel comfortable to soften or close the eyes. Imagine your feet rooting down into the ground. Your chest lifting upwards, the crown of the head lifting upwards. So this is mountain pose. Imagine yourself as a beautiful mountain. Steady, strong, unmovable. Take another nice deep breath in. As you exhale, flicker open your eyes, relax your hands. Let's begin. Inhale, take the arms nice and wide. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Inhale, reach the arms up. Lengthen the body here. If you're okay in the lower back, press the hips forward, lift the chest upwards and softly arch back. As you exhale, fold all the way forwards into forward fold. Step the right foot back as far as you can go. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toe, lift the head, lift the chest. Find that lovely stretch into your right hip flexor. Just a little teaching point here, the left knee stays stacked over the ankle. If you look a little bit more like this, over time it could cause damage to the knee, so do try and step it forward slightly. Okay, tuck the back toes under, plant the hands on the ground, step back into plank. Now curl your tailbone under here and hug the tummy in and lift the upper body away from the ground. Press your heels away from you and let's do our pumping breath again. So inhale and pump. Lovely, lower the knees down to the ground, lower the chest, lower the chin, keep the hips lifted if you can, and then slide onto your tummy, loop the shoulders up, back and down, lift the head, lift the chest, coming into a little baby cobra. As you exhale, lower back down, tuck the toes under, press into your downward dog. You can come into tabletop first, and then press into downward dog, or float all the way forwards. Lovely, let's press one heel down to the ground, lift the other, and just walk and pedal through the feet slightly here. Taking a deep breath in, lower both heels down towards the ground. On an inhalation, take your gaze towards your hand and step your right foot as far towards the mat as you can. If it doesn't reach, just grab hold of the ankle and step it up. Lower the back knee to the ground, lift the chest, lift the head, sink the hips down. So think about your spine being nice and long here, your chest open. Tuck the back toe under, step forward to the front of your mat, into forward fold. Inhale, rising up, gently arching back, and exhale, release down. Lovely, that's the right side, let's do the left. Inhale, exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, rising up and arching back. Exhale, folding forwards. Step the left foot back this time. Drop the knee, lift the chest and look up. Make sure the right knee is stacking directly over the ankle. Find that lovely stretch into your left hip flexor. Tuck the left toes under, plant the hands on the ground, step back into plank. Tuck your tailbone under. Press away from the ground. Heels pressing away. And let's pump the breath again. Lower the knees, lower the chest and the chin. Looping into cobra. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Lengthen the spine, gaze between your knees. On an inhalation, step the left foot forward. If you struggle with this transition, drop both knees to the ground first, and then step the left foot forwards. Sink the hips down, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. And then when you're ready, step the right foot towards the front of the mat. And inhale, rising up, gently arching back, saluting the sun. And exhale, release down. Let's go straight into the right side again. Inhale, exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, rising up, arching back. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot back. Drop the knee, lift the chest, look up. Left foot back into plank. We'll come straight down this time, knees, chest and chin. Looping into cobra. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, downward dog. 2 breaths here. On an inhalation, step the right foot forwards. Drop the back knee, lift the chest, look up. Left foot forward into forward fold. Inhale, rising up. And release. Left side, inhale, exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, fold forwards. Left foot back. Drop the knee, lift the chest, look up. Right foot back into plank. Lower down, knees, chest and chin. And loop into cobra. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, downward dog. 2 lovely deep breaths here. On an inhalation, step the left foot forwards. Drop the knee, lift the chest, look up. Right foot forward into forward fold. And then inhale, rising up, arching back. Exhale, release. Bring your hands to prayer. Soften or close the eyes. Notice how you're feeling. Notice your body breathing. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, flicker open your eyes. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to step the left foot back. Come up. Hopefully you can still hear me. Fingers crossed. Okay, stepping the left foot back. Comfortably back, toes turned in, about 45-degree angle. The front leg is straight for the moment. And I want you to bend it and track the kneecap over the second and third toe. So that when you look down, you've got a nice straight leg. The knee isn't folding out to the side, it's not dropping inwards. Okay, root down through your back foot, root down through your front foot, lift the pelvic floor up, hug the tummy in, loop the shoulders up, back and down. Now find a strong stability through the legs here. And then as we inhale, we're going to reach the arms up and overhead. Coming into warrior one. Relax the shoulders back into their sockets. Draw the lower abdomen in. And maybe take the gaze upwards. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Find those strong legs lifting the ribs away from the hips. If you feel like you would like to, you can soften or close the eyes, test your balance. Keep breathing, keep pressing into those feet, keep the legs nice and strong. Lovely, take a nice deep breath in, keep the legs where they are. As you exhale, the right arm comes forward, the left arm comes behind, the hips open towards the side. And again, just check down at your front knee. It hasn't dropped in. It's still tracking over those toes. Your gaze comes to the middle finger of your right hand. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're reaching the arms away from one another. Chest is open. Strong legs. And breathe. Warrior two. If anybody does want to go slightly deeper, you can lift the heel of your front foot and sink those hips down a little tiny bit more. Keep that body upright, don't start to lean forward though. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, release down, straighten that front leg and step the left foot towards the front of the mat. Give the legs a nice little shake out, give the arms a nice little shake out. Okay, this time we'll step the right foot backwards. Turn the back toes out about 45 degrees. Turn the hips towards the front of your mat in warrior one. Bend through the front legs, stack the knee over the ankle. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Now lift your ribs away from the hips. Press down through the back edge of your back foot. Root down into that front foot. So you're forcing your feet into the ground and you're lifting your body up from the ground at the same time. So you've got a nice opposing force there. Keep the shoulders relaxed into their sockets. Keep the lower abdomen drawn in. Lovely. Maybe the gaze wants to go up towards the hands. Maybe you can soften or close the eyes. Come into this state of stillness. Awareness of your body. Where do you need to strengthen to hold yourself in a pose? Where do you need to soften? Keep that breath coming in, deep, slow breaths in, long, complete exhalations. Lovely, take a nice deep breath in. This time as you exhale, left arm forward, right arm behind, open the hips towards the side of your mat, open the chest, relax the shoulders into their sockets, reach the arms away, just have a check-in with that knee, it's not falling inwards. Your gaze is towards the middle finger of your left hand. So focus your drishti point, your awareness on that middle finger. Breathing in. And again, if you'd like to go slightly deeper, lift the front heel, sink the hips down. Keep that integrity of the legs holding you upwards. Breathing in. Breathing out, drawing in that lower abdomen on the in-out breath. Lovely, take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, lower the heel, lower the hands, hips come back to the front, and we step towards the front of the mat and give the legs a nice little shake out, to give the arms a shake out. Okay, let's come into our balance. I'm going to do a little flow between poses here. Feet hip distance apart, loop those shoulders up, back and down, and just allow them to float into their sockets. On an inhalation, shift the weight into your right foot, lift the left knee up to the chest and both arms up and overhead. Just pause here for a moment, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, extend the leg out in front, flexing the foot. Lovely, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, the leg goes behind, the arms come out to the side. Chin and chest come down towards the ground. You're coming into warrior three. Try to make yourself into a little aeroplane shape. As you inhale, float the knee up, arms up and overhead, and extend the leg out in front. Lovely, deep breath in. As you exhale, float back to warrior three, arms out to the side, leg out behind. Lovely, inhale, knee comes to the chest, extend the legs out in front, arms up and overhead. Whoops, a little wobble. Last time, coming into warrior three, arms out to the side, leg behind, and release. Oh, I was wobbly this morning. Give those legs a little shake. And then just soften or close the eyes for a moment. Let's just pause. Notice the sensations in your right foot, your right ankle, compare it to the left. Notice your left thigh and compare it to the right. So creating neuroplastic changes in the mind here, connecting the body and the mind together. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. So shifting the weight into the left foot, find a little point to gaze at. Reach the knee into the right knee into the chest, arms up and overhead. Lengthen through the tailbone here. Extend the leg out in front. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, extend the right leg out behind. The arms float out to the side. So a little aeroplane pose here. As you inhale, bring the knee to the chest, arms up and overhead, extend the leg out in front. Exhale, warrior three with aeroplane arms. Inhale, knee to chest, arms up and overhead, extend the leg. And exhale, coming into warrior three. Last time, knee comes into the chest, arms up and overhead. And exhale, softly release down. Take that moment to pause again. Notice your body breathing. Notice any sensations in your left foot, compare them to the right. Right thigh compared to left thigh. Left glute compared to the right glute. Lovely, let's take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, flicker open the eyes. Okay, come towards the top of your mat. Feet are together. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Lift the sternum upwards, lengthen the tailbone. Come up onto your toes. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly, slowly, lowering down, keeping those heels lifted. Into a lovely deep squat. Being mindful of the knees that might not be accessible to everybody here. When you arrive in your squat, lift the sternum upwards. Take a nice deep breath in, release the hands down and release the buttocks down to the ground. Extend your right leg out in front of you and bring the left sole of the foot in towards your thigh. You're going to turn to face over your right leg, lifting the chest up. If you do need to, some of you, this leg might be really quite high here and it might feel like it's floating in the ground. You can roll up a little cushion or a towel and place it underneath the left hip there. Now lift and lengthen your sternum upwards and think about your sit bone pressing behind. As you inhale, we're going to press the chest towards the toes. It's almost as if you're pushing your chest towards the toes and walk your hands towards your foot. Now your foot is flexed, toes coming up towards to the forehead. And maybe some of you can even lift it so the heel comes from the ground. Keep that length in the spine, keep pressing the chest towards the toes. And then when you're ready, when you've lengthened the spine as much as you can, reach on either onto your leg, maybe some of you can reach around the bottom of the foot. Inhale, lengthen the chest forward, lengthen the tailbone backwards, and then as you exhale, folding down over that leg. Lower abdomen is drawing in, shoulders are relaxed. Every time you inhale, think about bringing your chest towards your toes, lengthen that spine. Every time you exhale, folding down a little bit deeper. Lovely, 2 more breaths here. Inhaling and lengthening, and exhaling and folding. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. On the next inhalation, reach the arms forward, float them all the way up and overhead, and exhale, release the hands down by the side. Swapping the legs over this time, extend the left leg out in front, the right foot in towards the groin, sole of the foot pressing into the groin. Make sure the sit bones are connected. If you do have flesh on your buttocks, not saying that anyone does, you might like to just lift it up and brace it around so the sit bone can come onto the ground. And again, if you need to support your right knee here, do fold something up and place it underneath. Okay, hands come either side. The chest comes to look towards your toes. Left toes are pulling in towards you. Maybe the heel lifts. So as you inhale, lift and lengthen the spine, and then pressing the chest towards the toes, start to walk your hands forwards. Lovely. So inhale and press that chest towards the toes. Sit bone pressing out behind you, lengthening as much as you can through the spine, and when you're ready, folding down over that leg. Maybe it feels completely different one side to the other, and as you exhale, bowing down towards your knee. Draw in the lower abdomen, press the sit bone away from you. On your inhalations, lifting the chest towards the toes. And as you exhale, bow down. And you might go a little deeper with each breath here, but just keep working with length in that spine. Lovely, deep inhalation. And exhale. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhale, lifting the chest towards the toes. Exhaling down. One more time, inhale. Exhale, bowing down. On your next inhalation, reach the arms forward, floating all the way up. And exhale, release the hands down by the side. Extend your right leg out in front of you. Bending the knees, just slide forward slightly on your mat. Lower yourself back down. Keep the knees bent and the hands come down by your hips. Walk your feet up towards your buttocks, just a little bit. Feet are hip distance apart, knees are hip distance apart. Press the lower back into the ground, tilt the tailbone upwards slightly. Make sure you've got a nice bit of length between the ears and the shoulders. Walk those shoulders away from you. And then on a big inhalation, press through the feet, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Looping the shoulders underneath. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Maybe you like to soften or close the eyes. If you're completely comfortable here, walk your feet towards your hands so that your hands can either touch your heels or wrap around the ankles. Lifting those hips upwards, lengthening through the front of your thighs. Keep pressing upwards. Some of you might want to revert back to the pumping breath we've been doing throughout class. Try and do about 30 pumps if you can. If that's not accessible to you at this pose, just breathe slowly and deeply. Keeping those hips pressing upwards. Glutes and hamstrings being strengthened here. See if you can keep the upper body relaxed. You're going to stay here for about 10 more seconds. Keep those hips lifted upwards. Breathing in, lovely open chest here. Breathing out. If you're still pumping the breath, allow it to come to softness now. We're going to release the hands from the heels. If you connected, place the hands down. Lift the heels from the ground, up onto your toes, and then slowly lower the upper spine, the middle spine, and the lower spine all the way back down to the ground. Hug the knees into the chest. Have a gentle rock from side to side. Lovely. Pause for a moment. Extend the arms out to the side, palms facing down. Take a nice deep breath in as you exhale. Take the knees over to the right, the gaze over to the left. Inhale all the way back up to center. Exhale the knees to the left, gaze to the right. Do that one more time either side. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale the legs all the way back up to center. Place the feet down on the mat. Bring your hands down into the position for Shavasana. Palms facing upwards, arms away from the body. And again, just check in with the spine. Relax the shoulders. And make your decision as to whether you would like to extend the legs or stay with the knees bent. Going to come into a few moments of rest in Shavasana. Allowing all the magic to happen within the body, within the mind. Let your breath be soft. Let your mind be calm. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just a few words for you this morning as you lay resting in Shavasana.
When your world moves too fast and lose yourself in the chaos, introduce yourself to each colour of the sunset. Reacquaint yourself with the earth beneath your feet. Thank the air that surrounds you with every breath you take. Find yourself in the appreciation of life. So when you feel ready to, invite a little bit of gentle movement back to your fingers, to your toes. Rotate your wrists, rotate your ankles. And then hugging the knees in towards chest. Give yourself a nice little cuddle. Tell yourself how amazing you are for turning up to your practice online today. And then let's rub the hands together, rub the feet together, find that playfulness. And then very, very slowly rolling onto one side of your body and pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. When you arrive in your comfortable seated position, fingertips come down to the ground, lovely tall spine. Let's put a lovely big smile on our faces. As you inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, take the gaze upwards. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart space. I'm going to finish the class this morning with the chanting of the Om. Do feel free to join in if you'd like. So let's inhale for Om. Om Shanti. Namaste. Lovely, thank you so much, beautiful people. I hope you all enjoyed that. I did see somebody had a little problem with it freezing, so I do apologise for that. Hopefully you'll be able to get it back on replay, and I will see you in the new year. Wishing the happiest and healthiest of New Years. Enjoy a little less stress and busyness in this lovely 2022. See you soon. Bye bye.